Ah, dang it.
The notification that we're live,
No, we're
wasn't
live,
it?
Hey guys, I got a new adapter for my phone. I lost mine.
Oh, got it.
It's gold. It's gold, and it's one of the double-sided ones. You know, that's how I do.
Twitch.tv weird things.
Yes, sir. Trying a new chat thing today. This one, Bri,
Yeah.
you can click on. You can click the links on.
Oh, good, because I was having to like copy and paste stuff.
Yeah.
That was a little complicado.
But this way, that'll be one less thing. It'll be easier for you to get into also, rather than going in through the website and clicking that button to get that specific
You could actually
window.
type in this chat as who you are.
Hello, it's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hide some of these. What?
Does it do the cool slide-in thing that the other one did?
It doesn't,
Oh.
because this is actually a skin for the normal Twitch chat, which does not have that.
Hmm.
All right, we'll this will do. This will do for now. Hi guys, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Yo.
Oh.
Yo, 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 yo.
I got a water. I got one of these like a reusable water bottles, and it is like changed a surprising amount of like my everyday habits. Like,
How so?
Like normally I would like have chilled glasses like in the freezer, but because this keeps the temperature, I can just put like soda in here with ice, and the ice won't melt.
Huh? I didn't know that you kept chilled glasses in your refrigerator.
Yeah, I do.
Seems like you're burying the lead on that. Does anybody else? Is that a common thing?
I think
I
people.
think Jeffrey Dahmer did that.
No, I do it because I don't want a lot of ice in my drink. Someone in the chat room like,
Do you run a bed and breakfast?
no, what? Is that a bed and breakfast thing to have?
I mean, it seems like something that you would do in a service industry where you're serving people and you want to make sure that they get the highest quality experience in their drinks. I mean, like this is certainly us making fun of you, but also it's really out of, I think, self-loathing that we don't care enough
You
about
wish
ourselves.
you
We don't care enough about ourselves that
Exactly.
we don't chill our own glasses, right? That's
I've done it.
self-love is what they
See?
call that.
Andrew's done
We
it.
don't experience
Oh
enough
yeah, no,
self-love.
I'm saying it's good.
Someone says chilled glasses are a San Francisco tap room sort of thing.
I don't know. I mean, probably. I would say just bars. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if like I think like the crappiest bar I ever went to probably had chilled glasses.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I drink a lot of soda, so I take it kind of seriously. I don't know. I drink soda the way people drink coffee.
Yeah, I do that too. But like when I want my water, I just like it room temperature.
Whoa, what are you, German?
No.
That was like the hardest thing about being in Europe at any given time was just everything's room temperature. I'm like, what are you, savages?
Yeah.
No wonder you lost.
I would say really the biggest thing, like all other drinks, frustrating if they're warmer, but water, I'll take room temperature because I can drink more of it faster.
I will never take room temperature. Like room temperature water is just like vomit without the food detritus. It's disgusting. It's cold water is a beverage. Warm
Hey
water
Brian,
is.
look at this room temperature water.
Don't.
I am also weird though. I definitely I unironically enjoy flat soda as well.
What?
No.
That's weird.
I'm down with that.
What?
No. In fact,
aftertaste,
flat,
though.
no, flat Sprite is the best because it means you've been sick for so long and you just go, oh, it's so flat. Oh, you feel it's like I'd say it's cold comfort, but it's room temperature comfort, and also flat.
I actually I like chilled flat, like soda. Like if all of it is gone, all the carbonation is gone, it's just a barely carbonated
Man, I thought
chilled
we
beverage.
for like this long. I thought we were on the same team, and then all of a sudden you're like, also, insert inappropriate thing you
We were
like.
gonna go with that metaphor. I was waiting for it. That's a dangerous metaphor.
Open bio, I'm with you. These flat soda drinking savages.
Yeah, like you get the worst aftertaste. Like the taste of flat soda is bad for every type of way that you can drink soda. Like if you get it
Okay,
from a
okay.
fountain, flat soda is awful. But even from a can and from a bottle, flat soda like gives you just this twingy aftertaste.
I guess really I'm here when it comes to soda, and I don't drink a ton of it, but when I'm there for the syrup, and everything else can be.
He's there for the
different.
ass. He says, I need the ass right in my mouth.
Yeah,
I'm
So
here for
it's
the
like-
ass.
like if
Love the
I
taste
guess I
of that
like
ace.
flat soda because there's less of the carbonation to distract from the syrup.
This is
All right.
Well, I think we settled that.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
chat is.
We good? Are we good to go on the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's got a heart out.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Someone's got a heart out. All right, let me look at this, and that's going, and that's going, and I've got that up here. All right, you guys want to do a show?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, take it away, Andrew. In 3, 2.
Welcome to the Weird Things Podcast. I'm Andrew Main, joined by Justin Robert Young,
Well, hello, friends.
Brian Brushwood.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just enjoying a fully carbonated, chilled beverage the way a civilized human would.
That was our pre-show conversation, folks, and you missed nothing. I'm going to jump right in. You know why? Because I need 2 crime-solving detectives.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
what's the nature of this crime? I want you to imagine me. I'm Encyclopedia Brian, and we call him the thesaurus. And we can solve any kind of crime.
Not the Saurus.
No,
Can you solve crimes in the desert?
No. Also, they call him the punster. You mean the dessert? That's what he's about to say. Go ahead and say it.
Do you mean grand expanse of sand? The absence of water?
How about the Arctic?
Ooh, that is a
Do
desert.
you mean the tundra? The great whiteout? Seward's folly?
All right. The thesaurus, you're taking it too far, man.
What about the middle of a densely packed city? Can you solve a crime there?
Ah, the urban jungle.
Yeah,
What
I'm pretty
about
sure we'll take the gig.
space? Could
20.
you solve a crime in space?
No case too small. 25 cents. We're on the case. We're ready.
Well, none of that will help
The
you
final
out.
frontier.
None of that will help you out because this crime takes place not at sea, but under the thesaurus.
See?
No, fail. The thesaurus fail. I already said sea. I needed another word for
Oh.
sea.
Ocean?
All right, great. It's good. This is one of those thin dollar store thesauruses.
No,
Actually,
even-
I didn't have the heart
even-
to tell
even
you.
the-
I haven't had
even the-
I haven't had the heart to tell anyone. He calls himself the thesaurus, but he only has a rhyming dictionary. I'm really sorry.
So we've got an undersea mystery. It starts, as all awesome stories do, in World War II during a naval battle in the Java Sea. Some ships are firing on each other, Japanese ships, Dutch ships, and we get several of these Dutch ships sink. The HNLMS De Ruyter and the HMS Java sink below the sea along with the Courtenaire and vanish, never to be seen again. Well, until 2002, where an expedition found them with sonar images. They found these ships there. They located them. They saw the distinct shape of the ships. Clearly, they're there. Right?
Were
Well,
they
gentlemen.
still filled with hatred, even in death, that their twisted corpses resembled fists shaking at each other?
I don't know. Dutch are pretty mellow people.
You know, I mean, not so mellow that they weren't willing to fire on the HMS Get Bent. Whatever
Right.
the
I
other
mean,
ship
These
is.
were the Dutch ships that sank. And these
Yeah.
were good guys.
Yeah, well, I know, but hold on. You said it was a Dutch one and a German one,
Three
right?
Dutch ships. 3 Dutch ships got
Wait.
sunk.
3 Dutch ships?
Yeah,
Three Dutch ships.
Fine. Then they're all shaking their face up at the sky.
Bottom of the ocean is ships. Finally, we find them again. So I'm like, look, sonar, what's that? That guy, there's a guy in the bow. He's making this angry expression with his fist curled. You know, Andrew made fun of Brian for that. Brian's been vindicated. So, and they're like, let's go back. We're going to go back a couple years later. Let's go back and take some more sonar image of this. Maybe we'll send some robots down there. And we pull up our boat. We go look. We got to call Spiro and Fudge. We got to call. Who are we talking to here?
Also Spear and Fudge. Only we're now Dime Store detectives. We kind of got kicked off the force.
Admiral Spiro and Captain Fudge.
I got kicked off the force. Somebody resigned in protest to follow, but the only reason why I got kicked off was because I had an incompetent partner who would do nothing but make overt sexual advances that would totally bring us further and further away from solving the case.
Okay, yes, and also I bought you that rhyming dictionary that I told you was a thesaurus. You always leave that part out. Always leave that out.
So here I am standing on the bow of my boat, hear the sound of a helicopter. I'm like, it's not a landing pad. That's like a conning tower. Circling. I see.
I lean out the window. I was like, "We do this all the time, sir. Don't worry about it." We try to
the antennas.
we try to land on the water, and I'm like, "It's flat. See, it's a perfectly flat surface. Don't worry about it."
On that helicopter. What are they doing?
We turn
One
off
little known fact about water: if you spin the blades fast enough, you can land on it.
We've got a bet. I'm gonna prove Fudge I'm right this time. And it turns out I'm not right. The helicopter sinks, but we paddle over and we get in your boat.
You get in the boat. I'm like, great. How's the pilot?
I was like, it didn't get picked up for a full series, but don't worry about it.
He said, go ahead, and we're like, fine, cool.
So you're on board the boat. You guys are there. You're like, all right, what's the mystery? I'm like, well, it started back in World War II. You see, there was this, the ships, and there was these, battle, and these ships sank. And anyhow, we've got a little bit of a problem here. Take a look at the sonar.
All right, let me take a look at the sonar, and I lean my face forward. I look at it, and I nod. And then I kind of flipped the sonar upside down because I could tell I was looking at it the wrong way. And I was like, take a look at this, the Fudge.
What are we looking at?
I think it's pretty clearly sonar. I lean over and apologize to Andrew. I'm like, I'm sorry, he's not the sharpest tool.
No, I mean, did you find anything
I think you'll see it just as clearly as I did. I believe in you, Mr. the Fudge.
Well,
So
I mean,
what
since we both have our own conclusions, let's just say our conclusions at the same time.
All right. Each of us cover one eye, and we'll both look in the sonar with the other eye, and we're just gonna say it on three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Trouble.
Mermaid.
Yeah. As you can see the outline of where the ship was, but ain't no ship.
Just as I suspected.
That's why I said trouble.
That's why I said mermaid, or as they say at the seas, the old mermaid heist, of course. The famous time a ship sank and then disappeared.
Name 1 year
two
a
ships
boat
are gone.
sank.
2 ships, the double fin.
The double fins of the mermaid. Now, but there were 3 that were sunk, though, so we still have some evidence to check out.
Yeah, we haven't gone over to check out the third one yet. So I'm just right now we're looking at the 2 there.
Okay. So you're saying like there's definitely the outline where that sank, and then the boat just not there, right?
Yeah.
All right,
not
real
there.
quick. I'm gonna need some scuba gear. I'm gonna need. You know what? I don't have time. I grab some old.
Wait. I got to interrupt here.
Yeah.
We didn't get a fashion report of how you guys are dressed when you show up for nautical mysteries.
I mean, I dressed up as an admiral. I can't speak for the Fudge. I'm a professional.
If by admiral you mean sailor shorts cut and refashioned to mid or high mid thigh booty short style with a very very festive navy blue ascot.
All right, you want to stop talking around it? Yes, I'm dressed as Buster Brown. I'm dressed as Buster Brown. I even have my stuffed animal dog.
And I have a full diving jumpsuit on at all times, including a mask and snorkel around my neck.
Excellent. I'm glad we brought in professionals. So you're going to go down. You're going to dive down. Both of you diving down?
No, just me. And in fact, I lean over and I unpack my bag and I pull out 2 old-timey Turkish barbells and I say, these will get me there. And I hold my breath and jump down and let the weight of the barbells take me, I assume, all the way down to the bottom, which gives me just enough time to kind of look around and see, yes, indeed, that sonar was correct. And then I swim up to the top. Unfortunately, my stuffed dog did not make it.
Now what?
Well, now I say, well, the fudge, one of us is committed. How about you?
So really, you just went in the water just to prove that I was
And
not as
chicken.
committed to the case as you.
Chicken. You're wearing the chicken outfit, but you can't fly, can you? You got those
Way
duck
to
feet on you?
way to be a teammate.
Yeah,
You know, you're just a real peach.
Yeah,
You're just a real A+ teammate.
Look, man, you're the one who joined my detective agency and calls himself the thesaurus, even though I bought you a rhyming dictionary.
I don't even wait for him to finish. I throw yet another Turkish barbell at him in the high chest, knocking him off the boat comically.
I take this opportunity to ride the Turkish barbell down to the bottom for a second look, swim up, and just as I'm about to pass out, I burst out of the surface and say, see? Double committed. Twice as committed as you are. I did it twice.
That, however, falls upon deaf ears as the fudge has gone inside the ship to actually do some detective work and ask some questions.
As I swim over to the ladder, I say, a little tea, please, would warm me up.
How about just some flat room temperature soda?
Oh God, I literally just committed suicide right there. I grab all the Turkish barbells, I dive into the water, and I never surface.
Meanwhile, I'm inside, and I'm asking, is there anybody on the boat now that was involved in the battle itself?
No.
Is
We
there?
wouldn't
Oh
want
wait, so
Dutch
that happened
people on our
long
boat.
ago, like decades ago.
World War II? Yeah. Last I checked, World War II was at least 10
I
years
don't know
ago.
if we're doing a period piece.
Yeah, for all we know, this happened in 1955. Come on. Also, hold on. I think it's off. I come out from the water.
Oh God,
and I
Jesus.
say, what year is it? I ask anyone who's listening.
I check my Apple Watch. It's 2017, guys.
Oh, like, okay, good. And then I grab my barbells and go back down.
All right. What do we have any evidence of previous search attempts?
No, you're just looking down. There ain't no ship.
So was there ever a time that these ships had been found and like added to nautical maps and whatnot?
Yeah, we had sonar. We had the sonar. There was a prior mission where we found sonar images of the ship. We saw the outlines. We saw the angry guy on the bow shaking his fist, saying Brian was right.
Yeah. Okay.
But other than that, yeah, we found the ships before. Now we're going back there. National Geographic crew. We're like, guys, this is gonna be awesome. We're so glad you invested all the money in this expedition to film these ships. And we know that you borrowed money from your grandmother's retirement fund in her medicine cabinet. It's going to be worth it. And then we showed up and there are no ships. And I'm like, I got this.
All right,
I got this.
so
I know 2 guys who can solve this problem.
Real quick, I walk over to the fudge and I'm like, hey, man, if it was known that these were sunken Dutch ships, you know what the Dutch are famous for?
Ruddering.
Gold. They got that gold in the shit. I bet somebody.
They have so much gold, then why are they always trying to get out of paying full price for dinner?
Why do you think their boat sank? It was so heavy with all that gold. I bet somebody stole the whole ship. For all we know, the ships were made of gold. Somebody stole.
Because of the Japanese battle fleet. But, Brian does World War II.
I'm just saying. It seems to me like this was a priceless treasure and somebody stole it.
Yeah, we need to go to battle. You know what we'll do? We'll load our ships with gold.
Wait a minute.
I mean, it's
hold
like
on,
they don't
so
go anywhere without
So
it going.
your point, Spiro, is that somebody got wind decades after that ship had sank that there was gold on it, and their response to that news was to not go down and harvest the gold, but rather to steal the entire ship from the ocean's floor.
Close. I'm not saying that they got wind that there was gold in the vessel. I'm saying they knew that that vessel was historical gold. It belongs in a museum, they said. But then they said, but not a public museum, a private collection. I bet I could sell it to someone. There's a lot of volcanic islands with a lot of evil villains that would pay for this.
Okay, so you think that there is a history thief on the loose who is looking to identify and preserve key moments in history and sell them to the highest bidder?
Yes.
I then throw yet another Turkish barbell at Spiro. So he
And I
falls
fall down.
over the
I
edge.
fall down. And what's weird is from below the surface, you see bubbles coming up. But the moment the bubbles burst on the surface of the water, comically they contain my words, "Told you," as I sink to the bottom.
All right, so I'm going to be the first one to say it. The easiest solution here is that your evidence was wrong with the sonar. This boat was never here. You thought it was here. It wasn't. Your
Okay, and I
failures.
grab you by the back of the head, and I put your face in front of the sonar, and you see the outline of a ship down there.
What seems to be a ship, but how do we know it's not a very still school of carp in a ship's shape?
Well, and the answer, and then more bubbles burst, and I'm like, because you can see me dancing here, and sure enough, on the sonar you see
In
Spiro
a trough,
dancing.
a ship-shaped trough, a ship-shaped trough in the thesaurus. Brian is dancing.
Ship-shaped trough.
All right. I wait for Spiro to get back to the ship. So a fast forward 45 minutes.
He blows up a balloon and uses that to raise him up.
That's right. Exactly. And I get out, and I was just like, guys, I have investigated a lot, and there's definitely a ship-shaped trough right there. Ain't no ship in it. 2 ships missing.
So what do you
Two
think?
ship-shaped troughs.
I mean, where's that third ship though? Can we find that third ship? Skipper, can you drive us around? And by the way, don't get confused if you see a helicopter at the bottom. That's
All right.
not the ship.
I'm gonna pull up anchor. I'm gonna start driving there. As we're going there, I'm like, hey, give me some theories, guys. Give me some theories.
I mean, I already told you. I think that there's an evil version of Indiana Jones who's stealing everyone's ships from the bottom of the ocean.
Montana Mike.
Montana Mike at it again.
Justin, excuse me, Mr.
That
Fudge.
belongs in a
Captain
private collection.
Yeah, exactly.
Captain Fudge, you just accused me of incompetency, so that's your theory.
No. I was just waiting to make this joke. Full time. Anyway. I think. I mean, I don't know. Do we have photos of it at the bottom of the ocean?
We've got really good sonar images. Why are you doubting my credibility?
I'm doubting your
Why are
credibility
you
because that's
blaming
the
the victim?
easiest solution.
You're blaming the victim.
I mean, like, if you want to self-describe yourself as the victim, that's fine, right? I don't think so.
have 2 missing ships here, and I called in the authorities, and you're telling me, man, did you really have any ships? Are you sure? Did you maybe, was the sonar smudged?
I mean, but for real, like, anybody get some peanut butter fingers on there?
I mean, at this point, I sort of ease myself in between you and the Fudge, and I was just like, whoa, man, is there a problem here? Do you not want this solved? This guy, outside of the time he got fired, has a pretty good record.
Yeah, I want this solved. I just don't want the blame just being,
Then
thrown in my
that's
direction.
That's fine. Where's the third ship? Where's the third ship, sir?
Fine, and we only have like 2 more Turkish barbells, so please. So flip on the sonar. I'm like, let's flip on the sonar unless peanut butter fingers had their hands on it.
Also,
Right.
I look around. I'm like, I seriously looked to see if there's Sergeant Peanut Butter Fingers around, but
No,
there's not.
that's when Dale Peanut Butter Fingers Schultz steps up and says, "Nope, I've been working in the laundry all day."
With his ship-shaped fingertips.
And we looked down at our
I
shirts.
played Battleship and I glued them to my fingers. So, flip on the
peanut
sonar.
butter.
I'm like, all right, let's take a look here. You ready? You ready to have your minds blown? You ready to have your minds
Yeah,
blown?
hold on. We actually have the photo. Can we show the photo to Justin?
Yeah, we got a photo here of Montana Mike.
Stop it. It doesn't count if I didn't click on it.
Okay, well, they got Bryce in studio, so I figured I'd pass it on.
So, ready? Turn it on the sonar.
All right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wait, here. You want to, Mr. Fudge, Captain? Do you want to smell it for peanut butter? Maybe it's some Nutella. Could it be Nutella? Would that satisfy you? Is that what you think it is?
Dude, I mean, Admiral Anxious over here. Just
Almond butter? Is it some
self-defense.
almond butter, maybe?
Let's just go ahead and find this third ship, huh?
All right, so we flipped the third ship, and I'm slowly watching the sonar scan, which isn't the way sonar works, but I've added a very dramatic.
No.
sort of
It works
image.
like those old-fashioned GIFs that you would download over a 2400 baud modem, kind of a line at a time, right?
Yeah, pretty much like that. So you see like nothing. You see like a faint outline of where a ship was, faint outline of where a ship was, faint outline of where a ship was, faint
Swear to
outline of where a
God.
ship was.
If the last thing we see is the Hamburglar dragging it away, I'm going to be real
No.
disappointed.
But all of a sudden you see half a ship.
Like half a ship, like the rest is buried, or
No, half a ship, like the rest is gone.
Sidebar. Hey, the Fudge. I know we have a lot of fun. We goof around, you and me.
We do.
I think we got us a real mystery here. I mean,
I'm telling you that.
okay. First of all, you promised not to listen. Get out of here.
Promises.
So the Fudge. I think is either somebody's dismantling this ship for parts. Maybe there's a corrosive agent that's chewing away at it. Oh, you know what? There was that one guy who won a Guinness World Record for eating an entire car. Maybe he's moved on to boats.
I mean, I agree with you. And if we're going to go ahead and list corrosive agents, how about the super self-defensive captain with his sonar thing? Like, geez.
Well, thank goodness he's not listening right now. But I mean, yeah, man,
No,
the guy's
God.
really
Very
wound
small
tight.
pilot house, guys. I'm like literally over your shoulders listening to you say this.
Which is why it makes it all the more important that you keep your words, sir. We
I know. How are
rely
you
on
going to build a
Tusk.
team, right? If we're going to be accusing each other when we're just trying to do our due diligence.
All right. I take one of the two remaining kettlebells and I hug it and I dive down to get an up close look at the edge at which the ship stops existing and seems to become nothingness. Is there anything I could tell? Does it look corroded or chewed or severed or
It
smashed?
looks like it might have been sort of ripped or ruptured.
But is there the rest of the impression of where the ship originally sank, or
Yes.
see? Okay,
All right.
I send
I've
a bubble
cracked the
up to
case.
the Fudge. I say it's more complicated than we thought, Fudge.
All right. I send a note down in a delicate mason jar to my waterlogged partner.
Time out real quick. When I shouted my message up, did you add a bubble popping sound effect, Bryce? Yeah, you did. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that's what I heard that correctly.
All right. I cracked the case. Gather the crew. I've cracked the case.
Okay, but before I gather the crew, I look around and see if there's any like Nazi gold in there, and there's not, and so I swim to the top.
Spiro tells me there's no Nazi gold in the ship, and I say, "Oh crap!" And I have to come up with a totally new conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen of the crew,
We're all gathered around. The entire boat is standing at attention. And I've blown that whistle that goes woo to grab everyone's attention. And I'm like, the fudge is now going to present his theory. Pay attention, people.
We've been around the world, ladies and gentlemen. We've solved cases big and small, dangerous and safe. But this is something the likes of which we've never seen. On opposite day, it's the same thing we always see. Where are the two missing ships? Who ate one half of another ship? Why, it's none other than the old menace of Spiro and the Fudge, a snake. Yes, a massive snake has eaten both of the ships and half of the other one. All you need to do is find the massive seafaring lizard that has a bulge distinctly like two ships and one half ship, in that order, from head to tail, and you will have your culprit. Spiro and the Fudge, out! And I start calling for yet another helicopter service and say, what do you mean? No, I don't know where he went after he dropped us off.
But it's okay because I already have the Uber app open and I have it set to San Francisco and I selected helicopter and then I just lied. Because the trick is once they're in the air, they have to come get you no matter where you are.
That's it.
I mean, prove us wrong. Prove us wrong.
Yeah, show us the evidence. It's always snakes. It's always snakes.
In fact,
Whatever.
I don't even say prove us wrong. I just hand you our business card. It says Spiro and or the Fudge, subtitled Prove Us Wrong.
Well, gentlemen, apparently we have a theory here.
Yeah, I know. I just gave it to you. I mean, is there an echo in here?
Turns out there is a gang of salvagers who like to go down there and explode ships and take the metal and all the raw materials, disguising themselves as fishermen, and then smuggle them off because that area of the ocean is littered with hundreds of ships. The raw materials are worth quite a lot, even though they're war graves and they're supposed to be protected sites. And that gang is called the Snake Gang, by the way.
I swear.
Not really.
Man. I was like, I had my pinky up in the air. I was like, don't you take this away from me.
This is what you get. This is what you get.
Dude.
Apparently, we don't know. We don't know. That's the theory, is that it's been salvagers who go down there with explosives. They blow up the ships. Then they take the metal away and they have stole two ships and are working their way through another one.
So if now listen, we had a great time. It was great hanging out with you. We have many other cases, as we often do. We have a standard form customer satisfaction survey. Whose answer did you like better, Spiro's or the Fudge? Just select one. Spiro's, of course, was that people were stealing the remains of the ship because they were valuable. The Fudge's was that a giant sea snake had eaten 2.5 ships.
All right, hold on. I'm taking the forms, pulling out my pen.
Just literally check one box or the other.
I'm looking it over.
Two boxes. One says
notes.
Spiro, the other says the Fudge.
I'm making some notes, and I'm comparing it, and then I'm writing the notes. I'm adding in like asterisks and stuff, and then I take both these notes and then I wrap them around Turkish barbells and throw them at your faces.
But I remember you're down to only one Turkish barbell, so I live while Justin
Prime. But the Turkish barbells are made of, what is this? Is this recycled naval iron?
Next time on Spiro and the Fudge.
Got a speed round for you guys.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, wait, here. Before we get to that, let's all remind you that patreon.com/weird things is where you can support this very, very show. Keep us live, loud, and independent here on Sunday afternoons. Easy like Sunday afternoon is how the song goes. Written because of the Weird Things podcast. Just head on over there right now. Patreon.com/weird weird things.
Heck yeah. By the way, we did see man, it's the funnest game to go to graphtreon.com/creator/weird things and watch our slow but steady trend upward. Every month when the tax man comes collecting, oftentimes people, like, their credit cards don't go through or they forget to update all that stuff. We had a really good month last week, but we are so close to getting back. I just want to average over that $500 a week. We got that.
Dude, totally. Thank you guys so much. Especially through the holidays, because that's a tough time.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this could be the story that pulls us through. This could be the one that gets people excited. This is the one that could make all those fence sitters realize this is why I need to support the Weird Things broadcast.
What's that?
It's the
And
story of a king who lost all his money and opened a Patreon, patreon.com/theking, and he got all his money back. The end.
I think it may be another Spiro and Fudge, and this may be too hard. This may be like I don't know how many clues I'm going to have to drop for this one, because I'm not going to say any more. Okay. It involves a very disturbing appearance, or something we'll call that a frightening event that takes place in an apartment house in South Africa.
Okay. Are we ruling out the G word?
I'm not going to rule out anything, but I'm going to say
It's Goblin. It's Goblin. You know what? You submitted your application to Spiro and the Fudge. I read as far as it was an African mystery, and I just wrote it's a goblin and then faxed it back to you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give you a little more background here.
Don't give it to me. Give it to the other guy, because I already wrote goblin.
So you're 100% in.
I mean, until I hear otherwise, and I'm not listening because my fingers are now plugged to my ears, and I'm saying take the call.
I'm 100% in until otherwise. I don't think Brian knows what 100% means.
Hey man, I
never when you're talking to Spiro, right? Like...
Sure. My apologies. So I'm the superintendent here of this apartment complex. I'm like, I've heard very good things about you guys. Other than one Yelp review from some ship captain who was very upset.
Don't worry. It turns out he is a murderer, so you really shouldn't take what he says seriously. He murdered a bunch of people.
There are a lot of murders on Yelp. I noticed.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. They got to clean it up. # fake news.
Yeah. So I heard good things about you guys, even though you tried to land a helicopter on top of a canopy.
All right. For the record, we successfully landed the helicopter.
Yeah. Also, little known fact: you can land on water if the blades are going fast enough. A lot of people don't know that.
So my residents are very upset. They don't want to pay the rent. They're very, very mad at me, and I try to ask them what's going on, but they just run past me screaming.
But by the way, out of obligation for my part in the detective agency, I've shown up. I'm beside him, but I'm listening to a Freakonomics podcast, like at full volume, so you can kind of hear it. So I could tune you out, but unfortunately, you can hear a little bit about what I'm hearing too.
Gotcha. So,
all right, hey, so this one. Don't worry.
Goblins, Fudge. It's goblins. I already told you.
Okay, it's not goblins. Here's what do your tenants tell you is the problem?
Well, they're kind of screaming and they're in terror. And if I just tell you what they tell me the problem is, then we really don't have much where to go. We're kind of done.
Is there a sign of forced entry into these apartments?
No.
Do you have a problem with the plumbing?
Yes.
Dun 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 da 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 da. Oh, Sam, sing along with the theme song to Freakonomics right now. Whoa.
I throw a Turkish barbell at Spiro, and he just falls over because we're not near water. All right, I've solved the case. Everybody, gather around.
I wake up and I grab my nautical whistle and I go, "Doo-woo." And I'm like, hey, everyone, he's about to say it's goblins.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been around the world solving cases, big and small, dangerous and safe. But I can say that we have never seen anything like what we've seen here.
That's
on
right.
opposite day, because this is snakes. You got snakes in your pipes, snakes coming out of your toilets, snakes coming out of your sinks.
At this point, I hush him and I say, the fudge. I was just listening to a podcast. I'm not going to say which one, but they explained about the gambler's fallacy, this belief that sooner or later you're more likely to be right because you've been wrong so often before. Are you sure you wouldn't like to do a little more investigating before we call this one snakes?
This is 150%. There's no way it's not the fact that snakes are filling up these toilet bowls and are biting people on the butt and genitals.
Well, we have some video.
Oh, God! I swear to God, if I see a snake. All right, pause. All right, for the audio listeners, somebody has the scariest speculum I've ever seen, and he's approaching a toilet.
Rain snake.
It's gonna be a. Oh, wait, stop! And now he's laid down.
He's got like a tennis ball holder.
It's like a tennis ball too, but enough to fit like 20 tennis balls.
Yep. Keep going.
It's roughly snake shaped. God dog it. Okay. Oh my God. I may owe this man an apology. Stop!
Yes! Snakes!
I immediately
Pause. Describe the snake to us right now.
It's
Oh, this is a girthy one, my friends. This is a mean motor scooter, dark green, being lifted up out of the toilet. There's fabric softener for some reason by the toilet. And this animal control person is about to stuff this snake right here in this snake container.
We're maybe a foot and a half of snake out of there, and already looks about 5 or 6 pounds of snake.
Yeah.
I immediately start writing a letter to the folks at Freakonomics saying that they're severely underestimating the number of snake-related problems in the world.
All right, so this thing continues to come out.
By the way, can you imagine being this guy? So he's got it pinched.
Wait.
Wait. He's got it pinched. If we're comparing the snake body to a human body, has him pinched roughly around the rib cage, and as if twisting his head, saying, "Oh no, you didn't." The snake is kind of staring at him like, "You are not doing what I think you're doing, are you? You are not pulling me and gonna stuff me into this tube."
Well, but also
it's
it's holding on to something. It might be
cobra,
still in the drain part, right? Like, let's keep playing it.
Keep going.
Yo, Sipo. Yeah, yo.
The snake ain't moving.
No.
Yo.
No, it is. It just opened its mouth and stared at him.
Doing that, it just ain't coming out of the toilet.
Oh, he's fighting with. Oh God, it's so big.
Oh my God.
It's probably 2.5 feet, maybe 3 feet.
No. It's at least
Right now.
for
Yeah.
the implied remainder of length in this
Yo,
thing.
It keeps going. It keeps.
It just bit the canister that it's supposed to be put inside of.
Oh.
It's. I am burning down.
How do you ever take a bath in that bathtub next to it again?
You have to get a new.
Also, why is the Fear Factor logo on that tube?
He's trying to load the snake into the canister by like, hey, just go into the safe place, and the snake's like, I
have my
shrinking
home.
back. It's convulsing back.
It's like a tug of war.
I mean,
But the rope bites you.
It's like trying to throw a snake down a hallway. I don't.
I'm immediately putting like mesh grills over all of my toilet holes.
Okay, all right. Now, don't forgive me. I am not a scientist or a lawyer, but it seems like snakes would need air to breathe.
Well, that's when you get a little visitor as you're sitting there, on your iPad.
Yep.
Oh my!
This snake is a very, very powerful snake. We're still watching the snake fight and not want to
Okay,
get flagged.
quick question: Is the only reason this dude is not killing the crap out of that snake because a camera's on him? Because that snake would be dead as hell. Dead as hell. I've got it by the grip. I'd be smashing its head on the walls. I'd be
assuming they want to like protect it and put it back in.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is animal protection. Unless they have to kill the snake, they won't.
No. You know what animal I'm concerned about protecting? Me and my children. That's the only animal.
Well, okay, so yeah, but he's the guy that you call if you're like, I have this snake problem. Like, his job is to preserve the snake.
Okay, he's got a dumb job. He shouldn't be a snake killer from now on.
So the video cut out. Do you know what happens next?
No.
Oh.
The snake, he couldn't pull it out, and the snake went back inside the pole before disappearing.
No.
So anyway, our PayPal's on the back of the card. If you just want to go ahead and settle that up. We got an Uber helicopter that we need to start hailing, and that's going to take a while because our rating is pretty low.
The snake is
yeah, so they've tried pouring like acid down the toilet system.
They've
did?
Tried
multiple things. So I'm going to give everybody a little pro tip. This is why you need to be a Patreon supporter of this show so you can get these helpful tips. Next time you're looking at a new house or apartment, be sure to ask, do you have a snake in the toilet problem?
When's the last time a snake rose up from the toilet and bit somebody upon the butt and genitals?
Here's something from the article. One of the experts says he added that the lack of food for the creature might result in restricted movement. He said despite snakes having the ability to go for weeks on end without eating, at a certain point the cobra will need to eat.
It was a cobra?
Yeah, it's not a cobra. Venomous. Big one, Bri. Big venomous cobra, which means it has to eat big prey, has to take down large mammals.
Dude, that movie was already a better South African film than Chappie.
No prawns.
Want to jump into picks?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to need a moment to process everything.
I'll start with my pick. My brand new business, Andrew's Toilet Grills, which will snake-proof. You can't use large pieces of toilet paper, and it's better if you
By the way,
don't have a lot of fiber.
But behind the scenes, just so you know, Brian always knows he's in for an adventure. when Bryce, he doesn't even look at me, right? He doesn't look in my direction. I just see an arm creep forward around one of the monitors, click a button, turn off one of the monitors, and then go back. meaning he doesn't want me to know what he's loading. Oh my God.
All right, I got to. Let me see. Let me think if I can think of something better.
Yeah, you know what? I got a silly one that I just
you got a silly one?
Yeah. Well, and specifically because it's an unfolding adventure that I'm really enjoying. If you never played the original Frog Fractions, it's fantastic. It's a game within a game within a game that just keeps on going forever and ever and ever. It's free right now from a company called Twin Beard. And the mystery was they raised a few tens of thousands of dollars to make, with nothing but the vague promise of, we'll make a Frog Fractions 2. We're not going to tell you when or where it comes from or what it's going to be, but it'll start off looking like one game and become something very, very different. And recently they tipped or it leaked that
people found it. Well, that was part of it, was that if you back their Kickstarter, normally the idea is you back a Kickstarter for a video game, you get early access to it, you get it before anybody else. But to preserve the surprise nature of it, they said once it was discovered, even the earliest backers would get their stream keys once somebody had randomly discovered it.
Correct.
And that's exactly what happened.
And the game itself is a $20 gem on Steam called Glitter Mitten Grove that looks to be one of those city building nightmares where it's like, attract fairies, collect sunlight, digest dewdrops.
I tell you what, I spent 2 hours in that city building part.
Oh, really?
I did.
Before you figured out?
Partially because I couldn't find where I was looking for, but it was,
that's
it was
amazing.
kind of fun, too.
Okay, slight spoiler territory. Like pretty quick, I noticed that, wow, an awful lot of these special skills seem to be equipment for mining and for excavating earth. And so if you dig down far enough, you find yourself a little, just a random ass door that takes you into an ever deepening rabbit hole. It has been a total blast. And specifically, my pick is not even to play the game because some people don't like these kind of games. I would definitely recommend you check out me and Justin playing the game at twitch.tv/nightattack. It's been a lot of fun for us to, we figured out a way to take turns playing the game, setting up Go to My PC, so Justin was able to actually, take the helm at times. It's been fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Oh, sorry, is that me talking or? Oh, got it.
I messed up.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. I recommend the game, and I recommend you check out our playthrough because in the middle of it, one of the writers for the freaking game just calls us. The
head writer for the ARG.
Yeah, the head writer for the ARG who also did work on the game itself. But I'll tell you what, it was I've been blessed enough to do some really fun things as a journalist. One of the things I did not ever expect to do was try to conduct an interview while poorly playing speed chess, while somebody who's much better at chess longingly just looks at my poor play and wishes that I would not only ask better questions but also be better at chess.
I was, but we got there. It was great.
We got there. Turns out I'm a lot better asking questions than I am at playing speed chess. But yeah, no, it was super fun. Go ahead and check that out, twitch.tv/nightattack. I'm going to pick Portlandia. I just picked up watching it again last night. It is just such a fun show, man. For any kind of show where you're going to work one or two performers in it, there's really only a few that work super well, and it means that you need really dynamic either performers or the writing has to be top notch, and Portlandia kind of has both. There was a sketch, we're watching the 4th season now, that basically includes an elongated sketch that is heavy metal parking lot at a Prairie Home Companion live show, which it would just tickled my funny bone so much. So go ahead and check it out, Portlandia.
Portlandia, I'll back your play on it in that it's worth watching, but I do find it's so committed to some bits that are so weird. It's very hot and cold for me. Like I either 100% love it or I feel like the sketch, I'm like, I just don't get this one. But like the Eddie Vedder tattoo one, great. The Battlestar Galactica one, possibly the best thing I've ever seen on television ever.
I mean, like the sketch I was talking about. It's like one of the big jokes is Fred Armisen telling a bunch of other 50 to 80-year-olds in the same way that a bunch of deadheads would talk about old shows that we were in Milwaukee. Next thing you know, who comes out? Wait for it, Terry Gross. And it's but if you don't know, if you're not an NPR listener, you have no idea what any of this means. What the idea of people who go to Prairie Home Companion shows, that Terry Gross does another NPR show. It does not stop to educate you. It's just there to be there.
It's just I'm sorry, did you not get the joke? Here's a kettlebell. Why don't you dive overboard?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I would never say that it is a show for everybody, but if it is for you, you'll enjoy it.
I have a self-serving pick. Actually, I have just a quick aside. Got the first review in for Blackfall, the third Jessica Blackwood book, the third book. review came in from Publishers Weekly. They called it enthralling.
I thought you were going to say it was from Bonnie. Like, she enjoyed
Bonnie
it.
writing as Publishers Weekly.
No, Bonnie enjoyed it very, very much. And if I had 3 whole minutes to rub together where I could look, no gossip on audiobook on this one. Can I just pay Justin to read it?
I mean, or you could get the Audible book when it comes out the same day as the print book.
Oh, good. So that is confirmed, right?
We are talking to seeing maybe possibly if we might be able to include some of the Audible samples maybe at the end of this podcast.
Oh, hells yes. Okay, can I say for the record, and this is one of the weird parts of our friendship, is like I want to be able to read every single thing that you write, Andrew, but I just me and print media, unless it's on a screen, it doesn't seem to work out. I was so excited when your stuff started showing up on Audible and have loved every single bit of it. I'm so thrilled because the Audible book came out later on the second one, right?
Yeah, they did it late, and that's always frustrating because there's a different department of Harper, and they have to have their own track and all that, but it's trying to promote them. So now they're doing the same day, same release for both.
Oh, so excited. So excited. Okay, let me know. And what is the release date? When do we know?
March something, I think late March. Got to check on Amazon. I forgot what that is.
My,
I should know this. Should have like maybe this on my calendar.
Anniversary. March.
What's
20,
that?
March.
And listen, you read this whole Publishers Weekly quote, right? Because I can read it here. The author, a professional magician, makes the impossible seem possible in this twisty, clever treat. That, my friends, is not a publication that just wants to promo stuff. Like, this is for a trusted resource for booksellers. That is an awesome review for now. I mean, geez, how far have we come, man? The third published Jessica Blackwood novel, man. We're in the woods on this. This is great.
Yeah, well, hold on. You did kind of stop midway. The quote goes on to say, while it is odd that 2 crime-fighting detectives who are kicked off the police force and love
we're gonna get to that
kettlebells and Uber helicopters don't seem to add much to the story. No.
Spoiler, snakes.
So the second part of my self-serving plug here is that while I write books, I just finished a book for a deadline for my new series coming out in September from Thomas and Mercer. I like to create magic tricks. It's like if I'm stressed out and I need to give myself time to think, but I don't want to get away from the task, but I don't want to jump into another book, I then go create a magic trick or something like that. And I have a couple things coming out, but coming out this week is a trick called Clueless. Like, what's Clueless? Imagine a magical mentalism board game that looks a lot like
that's great. It looks like Clue. So
Yep.
you've got different rooms. You've got the kitchen. You've got the Vive room.
Exactly. The parlor.
Yeah.
And that. And it's a very easy to perform effect, but it's the revelation is you have 3 players play. They each steal an object. They go into a room, steal an object, and hide somewhere. And the little cards in the middle of it, like the little game cards, they reveal like Mr. Red is in the library, Mr. Yellow is in the study, Mr. Blue is hiding under the desk, Mr. Blue stole the diamond ring. So
Wait. So you actually have them physically go to different rooms to set this up?
they move their pieces around the board.
Okay. Like I assume you could do it either way, but that sounds awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's fun, very fun. So that'll be coming out. It's only gonna be like $20 or so. So that'll come out like Tuesday. So comes with game pieces in the board, everything you need to do. And I'm working on DVD. I'll put a DVD in there too to show you how to do it. So plug.
Dude,
You go to
awesome.
andrewmain.com. What's that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is probably the best way to get the magic? Or is it all the same mailing list or 2 mailing lists?
Yeah, all the same mailing list. If you go to andrewmain.com, sign up for my email list, you can get updates on all that. So, my smirking
great
face.
photo. It's a great photo there on your.
No, it's the best photo I'll ever take.
Oh man, just adorbs.
I know. Good times.
Yeah, get that engraved on your head.
Clearly, one of those photos, like, well, you don't look like your photo.
No. I mean, but you do though. I mean,
Yeah.
Do that face. You look like you're ageless and timeless. There you go. Right.
And skin bronzer. They put skin bronzer on me there.
Yeah. That's why I was saying,
Yeah.
like, why not have a bronze bust over your grave that is just you doing that? Because it's like you got a dark secret. You're like, I know what's on the other side. You don't.
Yeah.
In your face.
Oblivion. It's been weird. Happy New Year.
Love you.
All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and grab a coffee, and then we can bang out after things. Oh crap, we never did
Journey.
Yeah, we didn't do a Journey
the
Quest.
Journey Quest.
Yeah, well. That'll teach us. How you doing, Bryce?
I'm doing good. I got a one of those Lego architecture sets for Christmas.
Yeah.
They're like specialty sets to help you build like landmarks.
The Roman aqueducts.
Yeah, this is the Louvre. And I just finished it right before I drove over here today. But I don't have any photos of it online.
Do you get to? You have to make the IM designed pyramid and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pyramid is kind of weird because it's at an angle, which Lego doesn't really work
They don't-
well with.
They don't do.
But what the trick to it is like there are these little rods and you make the panels, and so they're like wings. They're like doors. They like are loose. It's kind of a weird thing. You would expect it to be some sort of snap-in thing, but they're just kind of loose.
Sort
like,
of their brand is snap in and attach.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was like one very weird thing at the very end of it, but it's cool. I'm gonna put some photos of it on Twitter.
Oh, by the way, tuned in and caught you doing Nesh Bang.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was fun. I did about an hour and a half. I ended up calling it Nesh Chomp.
Nesh Chomp.
Nesh Chomp.
Got it. Instead of Com.
Yeah.
Com Chomp.
Yeah. So I made some tacos and I was talking to people and talking to the chat room.
It's
and
awesome.
it was fun. Hope to do some more little fun stuff like that more often. Keep an eye out.
Hold on, I've got the fudge on the line. Yeah, you coming back soon? Okay, the helicopter's waiting on you. All right.
Man, I remember those. Used to collect those. Love those things.
Yeah. Did when you saw those in Stranger Things, like, did you have those realistic CB radios?
Oh, dude, I had remember Radio Shack had a whole line of like walkie-talkies from cheaper to better to really awesome.
Yep.
And I always had kind of the cheaper, and I wanted to get the kind of the more awesome, the longer looking ones,
I think we had like the $60 ones, which I think was the higher end one. But nine AAA batteries had to go in there, and then and you could buy crystals. Like, that was my first experience with like plugging out and plugging in, and I got the trucker crystal, and then I think there was just some other random number.
Walkie-talkies are such a neat part of our childhood that sort of is lost.
Have I talked to you? I don't know if you happen to see it, but I really rekindled some of those good vibes by exploring the there's a university in the Netherlands that has like a software driven shortwave radio, so you can go anywhere and listen to anything. Have you seen this?
No.
If you go to Bryce, if you don't mind just taking us to shortwave.themonorogue.com.
Sure.
So take a look at this. Not only so there was a picture of the gizmo. Everything is software driven, but you see that waterfall that's happening real time?
Mm-hmm.
That's all the different broadcasts happening at all the different spectrums all at once. So you can see like there's stuff off to the right that's happening intermittently and then stopping again.
Wow.
And some of them are slow scan television and so on. For example, do you know the story about the buzzer?
No.
Okay, the buzzer shortwave.
Oh, did you hear that?
UVB 76. Do me a favor, change to, this is the kilohertz you want. It's 4625 kilohertz. So, and turn this up. It is rumored this thing has gone nonstop for 50 years, okay? And there are times that people have been listening and they've heard other people in the room. This is not like an electronically created buzz. It is thought that this is a room in a studio that has a microphone and this buzzard keeps going. And that's why you could occasionally hear people talking in the room and stuff. And it's thought that this is a Russian dead man switch. And that if this thing ever stops, it means other people have orders to automatically start pressing buttons.
Oh, geez.
It's amazing. It's really, really cool to play with. We did a thing on number stations, and we caught one of them live. There's a chat room on that site where people are like, because the number stations are very, very regimented, where it's like they'll often appear on three different frequencies at the exact same time and then stop again. And so people will record them, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I remember that was one of the things we pitched for a certain thing was the idea of us tracking down a number station, and my fear was that it may have been like something the drug cartels used.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Man, I kind of don't even want to make jokes about any of those elements because jokes will get us in trouble.
With the cartel.
What are you afraid? Drones did it.
Come get me, Chapo.
Jones.
Drones.
I've never had this much cocaine. Well, what about Rebecca's barbecue? Oh, okay, yeah, I guess Rebecca's barbecue.
Alrighty, guys. You want to do some after things?
Let's after
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Ho 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 whoa 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 whoa.
All right, we're good. All right, take it away, Andrew, in 3, 2.
Welcome to the After Things podcast. I'm Andrew Main, joined by Brian Brushwood,
Hello, beautiful people.
Justin Robert Young.
Hi, everybody. It's me, old JRY.
Gentlemen, I have a topic I'm going to jump right in with. And this is a thing I think about a lot when I'm in the middle of working on stuff or I get things done, but I realize they're not done. If I write a book, problem is you write a book and then you're like, oh, but there's a lot of other things you need to do. You need to edit a book, put together a cover, you need to do that. Or if you're the publisher, you have to go through the rounds of editing and promotion and that. Or if, let's say, like I have a new magic trick coming out, which I talk about on Weird Things, a thing called Clueless. And it's like, I got the trick. I got everything that works for it. I figured out how I'm going to make it. But then I'm like, I need envelopes. I need this. I need all that. And kind of my theory, it's kind of like 10% is actually the 90%. And that you think the thing is done, and then we get discouraged when we realize there's a lot more things that need to get done before it's really done. And with experience, you get used to that, but a lot of times we step into endeavors. It's like, we're like, I want to make a podcast. You're like, okay, first sit down and record it. Well, you record it, and you're like, now what? Oh, I need to edit it. I need to maybe add bumpers to it. I need to upload it to an RSS feed. I need to do maybe some show notes descriptions of it. And I think that I would say that 90%, a lot of stuff that we give up on and people drop out of is because they find out the real work is not like it's one thing to get over the idea of like I just the trophy mentality. I just want this because I want the trophy. I want the thing that I want people to congratulate me for it. Like I want to write a book because I want to hold up a book and say, look, I wrote a book.
Right.
It's another thing to realize, but once you get past that and say, okay, I know I need the writings where it's at, or the doing a lot of episodes where it's at, but it's all the other work that I think it's discouraging.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know, to borrow from the 80-20 rule or whatever, it's like 80% of the excitement is 20% of the job. And that means the other 80% of the job is not real sexy, not very exciting, not very fun. There are ways to get something out of it. Strangely, one of my favorite things in the earliest days of trying to sell, my magic show is like I would look for what I thought of as an anchor date. I would want, let me just get one university to say the words, we're probably going to book you, November 20th in Atlanta, Georgia. So now, because I had a date where I could say legitimately I'm in the area, and this all seems ridiculous in the age of the internet, but I would print out. I would assemble a list of 2,000 nightclubs that were within a 4 to 6 hour drive of that place, going at yellowpages.com, cutting and pasting and hand assembling. I would use scripts to okay, replace all of the commas with semicolons and now add these spaces and all that stuff, so I could print them all out. And then I would sit and I would stamp all those so that on top of this, $1,000 college show, I could maybe book 2 $500 college or nightclub shows during that same time. And I guess I have fond memories of it because it was something I did with Bonnie, and we would sit and watch movies while we were doing it. But it is astonishing how tedious that extra and yet very, very important work is.
But it's only astonishing because of what you pointed out, which is that we have value in certain elements, and we don't have value in others, right? If Andrew wants to write a book, he wants to write the best book he possibly can based on his experience with reading books and his knowledge of what books sell and stuff like that. And now that he's further along in his career, the feedback that he has from either people close to him or the audience at large. But there are some that don't want any part of that. That's terrifying, but they love the idea of salesmanship and they love the idea of doing all this. There's we all, I think, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just, in fact, it can be a very, very good thing if we understand it within ourselves. What do we value? We're going to want to spend the time we take to spend on that will fly by far faster than us doing the stuff that we don't either deem as important or we have deemed ourselves not good at it. And who knows whether or not we are. It sure certainly feels like it takes a lot longer and it's a lot more annoying to do it.
I look at how I've gotten better in some areas, but still when it comes down to kind of doing the work though, like I wrote the sequel to Station Breaker almost a year ago, right? And I'd be like, when's the sequel coming out? I still have not sat down to edit that thing. And now I'm going into this kind of window of where I've got my book coming out. I've got Blackfall coming out in March. I can't really release it around there. And I don't know if I really want to put another thriller book right up there. And so maybe there's this sort of window in the summer where I want to interfere with my Thomas and Mercer release. And I put myself in this position because I got lazy. I just got this. The writing it was fun. The writing it was a blast. But then I didn't do the follow through on the rest of it, which would have been, a few days worth of work, which I always had a justification for do this other thing. But I could have had 4 days. I could have had 4 days a couple months ago to have done that, and I didn't. And now I'm sitting on a property that could be bringing in money, be useful to me, but I've kind of put myself in this weird little corner.
Yes and no. Certainly you're sitting on something of value, but the value that it has is directly dependent on when the release window is. I don't think if Harper Lee's second book came out, within a week after To Kill a Mockingbird, it would have done quite as well,
Well, certainly, but I think Andrew's saying that there was a spot earlier, but he didn't do it because it was annoying.
There was a number of spots. I just got lazy and didn't do it. And by the way, Harper Lee's last book, Go Set a Watchman, cover designer, same cover designer as my last book with HarperCollins.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, new book, different cover designer, but still, fun little connections there. I was saying that, I got lazy and I missed a window because I didn't want to do the work. I didn't want to go do that. I had fun writing it. I actually started writing the third one, but I didn't want to jump in and do the edit. And then I kind of I missed an opportunity. I missed, that, the money from that would have been, could have been a, Model 3 down payment, or maybe buy some iTunes music for a Model 3. Point is that I, on one hand, I think I am extremely driven in many ways. I think that I'm an extremely productive person, and people see people see the external output from me. They see a lot of stuff. But we don't realize is there's a tremendous amount of procrastination. And if I followed through 50% more on some of these things that I got to the theoretical imaginary 90% level, I'd have a lot more out there. So I'm better at it, but I still suffer from it.
Well,
What?
I think part of it is also rewiring yourself to get addicted to real completion as opposed to the partial completion, which I know is something that is a big problem for me, is telling people that I'm doing something or I'm going to do something or I'm in the process of something, or like sharing a half finished thing with somebody. Is that very often I just kind of punch out on the fact that people are happy that I'm doing a thing, and then I don't do it, or I don't do it well. What thankfully a lot of the projects over the last year have kind of taught me is that the even if it's scarier going forward, if you can do something successful it's better. It's better to not to devalue the credit that you get while making it, even from your own self, so you can make it toward the end. But that's not a simple thing. It takes a while. It took me, it still takes me a while to do a lot of things. I know I'm in a place right now with like the sticker stuff that I started last year. It was a fun little side project and I liked doing it, and I liked, buying art from people and putting it on stickers and selling it and building up the mailing list. But now I'd always told myself last year, I'm like, okay, well, last year it's establishing it, just making sure that everybody knows that this exists. And I figure out how to plug it and I figure out how to sell it. And now we take the next step in the next year, except I have not done that, and it's like, okay, well, I set myself up for this, but now I have to do bigger, scarier things, like figuring out like, okay, well, are there products that aren't stickers, to sell? Like, is there something like that we can go forward with? So it's like, it's rough. It's hard to do. And it really takes kind of constant vigilance to keep yourself moving forward.
I have a little theory, and I want to ask Brian to see if this supports this or not. Brian, your model of when you were writing off to the clubs, talking to them and saying, do you want to book me? Where did that come from?
That's
Did you
a
learn
really
that from somebody?
good question. It came directly from CJ Johnson, who was developing a lot of his direct marketing through a system that Dan Kennedy put together back in the late 90s. And it's hard for people to even imagine what it took to reach out to people 20 years ago in a pre-internet era.
So let me a lot of my drive when it comes to my books, and it comes from like my promotion on my books and all that, came from watching Rand Woodbury. Rand Woodbury was much like CJ was to you. And Rand gave me my first email list. Rand, showed me how he did like his advertising in Magic Magazine or whatever, and he learned from, guys like Paul Osborne and stuff. And I would say that some of the things that I do are the hardest things for other people to follow through were things that I learned from somebody else and watching somebody else do.
And I would absolutely say I can tell you, oh, well, all you have to do is send out this many postcards. They're 25 cents a piece. You send out 3,000 of them at a 1% response rate. That's, 90 calls you're going to get. You're going to land 2 gigs out of that, and that'll pay for the whole thing, right?
My first Magic book, Solo X, I sent out postcards to everybody on a list that Rand gave me. It was like people who bought Magic books. I sent out physical postcards, new book coming out from Andrew Main, blah, 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 blah. Here's the description. Sat down at a table and did like you did. And that was it's one of these things. It was a very physical thing that I did and a physical thing that you did that we learned from somebody else. And that's it's a very interesting thing.
Well, I guess my point is you and I had the benefit of speaking to people who we could not argue about why it wasn't going to work. Rand, you could not look Rand in the face and say, oh, well, maybe that worked for you, but it wouldn't work for me because blah, 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 blah. And Rand will be like, no, I've built a career on this. Shut up. And CJ, same thing. I couldn't look at him and say, that it wouldn't work. And CJ would say, you have a fine show. You have great promo materials. There's literally no way it can't work. And I think that once you get more degrees of separation away, it becomes easier to tell yourself things like, well, maybe that worked for him, but that doesn't work for everybody, that kind of stuff.
And I would say that some of the hardest work we ever do comes out of desperation. Some of the hardest work comes out of, it's like, what was your drive when you realized you were going to get married? what was your drive like when Bonnie's like, "Hey, Brian, isn't 3 a fun number?"
Uh, well, 3 might not be the best example since since we tried to call backsies and it was too late. But getting married was certainly one of those things where it was. She said, if there's a reason I shouldn't be applying to graduate schools in the Northeast, I need to know right now. And then,
Well, it gets cold up there.
yeah, right. Well, and it took me a moment to realize, oh, wait, I get it. But certainly,
Well, let's start with the war of northern aggression.
Yeah. But as far as I fear is a very powerful motivator. I mean, fear does some real magic, and I don't know. Is that the answer you're looking for?
Yeah, I was looking at that. Some of the best things I've learned came from people who were, were like, they weren't in comfort zones. They were like, they had to get that stuff done. They had to get it done, and they couldn't sit around and be like, I'm not motivated. They were forced to be in that situation. And a lot of times we're in comfort zones trying to replicate things, and it's easier for us to give up. But
yeah,
when
well,
you and I had
specifically, like for example, and the pressure of once you've accepted a booking, especially when it's for more money than you made in an entire month at your previous job. It's like finally I'm making grown up professional touring ass magician money, and you land, and even though you have a reservation number with Budget Rent a Car, you land in Nashville. This is all just totally hypothetical. And you get down there and they say, yeah, sorry, we don't have a car for you. Then you pick up the phone and you call your manager, and right there in front of the guy, you make sure to say, hey, Mike, the gig is in jeopardy. Is there a U-Haul somewhere nearby so that I can rent a U-Haul so I can physically make it the 2.5 hours to do the show that happens in 5 hours from now? I mean, like, when you have no choice but to pull it off, you get real creative real fast. And in this case, just listening to the fact that, this wasn't some guy on a vacation they were screwing over. They were jeopardizing my livelihood. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, the guy was like, oh, you know what? One just came out. If you don't mind a bigger car, we could get you in one right away.
Oh my God, dude.
Assholes.
If somebody did that to me, that would be a literal fist fight. That would be like somebody trying to reach up my wife's skirt. Like that is a personal offense. If they were trying to avoid giving you an upgraded car and told you that they didn't have one, that's a spin kick.
I agree, but also all of it's irrelevant because like a bigger car, smaller car, whatever, none of that was gonna get me to the gig, but a U-Haul would have,
Oh no, I mean no, yeah, this is inside, business.
Sure.
Like knowing that like what their issues are to bring them to say things like that, but at the same time. You're right. I mean, when I was doing the Go game, there would be upwards of, tens of thousands of dollars on the line for me to do something. And it didn't matter. All that money didn't care if the actors I hired sucked or that the tech went down or that there was any other reason why legitimately I could go tell somebody else in my profession or even beyond that, a layperson exactly everything that happened, and they would say, oh my God, that's a real bad beat. In that moment, you either have to fix it or have so much effort expelled that nobody around you could ever question anything other than this was a total lost cause and an act of God.
Exactly. Right. Well, and that's the thing. It's like if you are going to go down, you're going to go down, fighting. You're going to go down gambling and destroying everything in your path. But a lot of that during that time was when I learned little phrases that I still use today. Like if something needed to happen, there were times that it was so desperate that after waiting 30 minutes on a phone queue, the first human being I spoke to, I got their name and I was like, Janet, I am not kidding you. I need a superhero to save the day. There is a real situation and only you can solve this. And then the moment you say that, you set the scenario, and it's amazing. people like to be the hero. They want to save the day. They want to help you solve the problem. But most of us forget that in our annoyance, because I could have just as easily, the moment Janet got on the phone, said, you know what? My dad was a man, my grandfather was a man of commitment and integrity. And if he told me I would have a car, I'd have a car. What's with you guys? And it's like, my guess is I wouldn't have made the gig if that's how I talked.
Oh yeah, you're already an adversary.
Yeah.
You're not an ally. And that's like, I've watched this where, I ate a lot of fast food, and I watch the person who goes up to the counter and goes, "You guys screwed up," and they're like, already they're defensive.
Yeah.
They're like, well, let me see your receipt. Let me see this, because you've just told me that I failed, and you've made me feel bad. Where I go up there and like, I messed up on my order, and like, I think I wanted to get this, and they look at it and they'll go, oh, no, you didn't. No, we messed up. It's okay, Or I'm like, hey, can you help me out? I apologize for being pushy or whatever. Is this cool? And then give them the higher ground. I give them the, hey, no, you're cool. You did great. I messed up or whatever.
Have we ever talked about this on After Thing, about the After Things, about the power that comes with of asserting no power? I think there's more power to get things done when you roll over on your belly than any other posture.
I do that where, like, if I'm on phone support, if it's frustrating, I get that I'll do like, hey, I apologize. I'm really confused. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. And because that's the story, they go home and they feel good about helping out.
Yeah. Well, and also I figured out real fast in those situations, never, ever, ever ask a yes/no question. And certainly if you're going to move in that direction, make sure not to ask a question where it's easier to say no than to say yes. It's like step one is get a foot in the door, learn their name, explain your name, set up, like, just ask for a small give. Can I give you 30 seconds to explain what's going on? And then you probably know way better than me how to handle this. So you start with a bargain. They've now committed to 30 seconds of listening. You're like, great. Okay, I've done this, this, and that. My job is on the line to accomplish this goal. And then I don't even ask, can you please do X, Y, or Z? I then ask, if you were me, how would you handle this? Because now what you've effectively done, if you said, here are all the parameters to this, what would you do? And still, you might get a jerk who is like, well, I don't know, I probably would have bought the insurance 6 months ago. In which case,
I don't have a time machine.
Yeah. But at which point the immediate answer becomes, oh, I get it. You're not the person I'm supposed to be talking to. Can you hand me to literally anyone other than you? Great. Now let's start the whole game over again.
Well, here, JC Calhoun in the chat room says, I tried this and it never worked. I tried to get a $20 late fee on a $5 credit card bill waived, and I threatened to cancel my card. And they were like, okay, we can cancel that card for you.
No, just the
point here,
that's not, you didn't
to threaten.
You're literally doing the opposite of everything we're advising. It's literally the opposite. You tried to meet force with force. Bruce Lee is crying in Chinese heaven at you right now. I don't know.
What?
Was he Japanese, Chinese?
He was Chinese. He was born in Seattle.
That's right. In Seattle heaven. He's crying in Seattle heaven.
Same high school as Jimi
Kurt
Hendrix.
Cobain.
Yeah, him and Kurt Cobain and Jimi Hendrix, they're all fist bumping, saying, what a way to screw up.
But since we don't have a time machine, what should he do in the future?
In the future, you don't ask them to do anything. You explain. You number one, get permission to unload your situation. Do I have your permission to explain what's happened so far so I can ask for your advice? That's something very easily that people will do. The moment they say yes, you then get to explain your whole situation because they've already given you that permission. Then you say, and as you explain everything, you explain the situation you're in, what you can and cannot do, and you say, with all that in mind, again, you hand them, you say, if you were me, what would you do? And then they can't say, they can't invoke a time machine. They can't say, I would have done something different or whatever. You find yourself on the same team. You're allies. Make that person an ally. Arguing over a $5 fee or a $20 fee, that's not making them an ally. Don't do that.
In there's situations where they can't do anything. There's some situations where they can't, and also like if you're threatening to cancel, like also we agree with that. If you're threatening to cancel a credit card where you only have a $5 charge on it, you're not worthwhile to them anyways. You know, you're to them. It's like, yeah, we're not making money on you. We're losing money every time you call us, kind of thing. And that's something too. It's like sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But if you try it and it doesn't work, and it's like, screw this, I'm never going to do that again. Well, you're never going to come out ahead.
Hey, by the way, real quick, just because some people haven't listened to every episode of everything we've ever talked about, the whole Bruce Lee thing is never meet force with force. Always take that force and redirect it off to the side. If you're arguing over a $20 late fee or whatever, you're trying to meet force with force, and that's not going to go very well.
Well, Jay says for the record, I was nice. I didn't get mad, but
that's nothing. Those don't count.
I will cancel this if you don't waive it, because I can be very nice. But if you do this, it's not being nice.
You're establishing a power dynamic and then leaning on it.
Being nice is irrelevant, and getting mad is nothing that deserves an award.
Basically, you are saying that we are the customers and we pay your salaries, Miss or Mister. And if you don't do this thing for me, then you'll have one less penny in your pocketbook. I'll take my ball and leave.
You threaten to cancel when you're a valuable customer, and like not a customer, a valuable customer. You know, if I have one bank account that's got $20,000 in it, I got another one that's got $200 in it, I'm going to get a very different reaction when I call up the different banks and say, can we do this, do this? Because one bank, they know exactly how much money they're making, and they know what they're making in fees. And I've had fees waived on stuff because like they're, you know, accounts with high amounts of fees and stuff, and they know if I'm unhappy, I move it, they lose a couple $1,000s a year. And that's, but if they know, well, yeah, we're going to lose $12 this year on this one. It's like, why does Google not have a customer service number?
Because they're smart, because they know that it's nothing but trouble.
All right, so here, let me ask you this, because there's a lot of people who do want to solve force with force. Mark's Drunken Gaming says, okay, but how useless do they have to be when it is time to launch from all cannons?
It is literally,
when do you unload?
It is literally never time to launch from all cannons. Let's say they're the biggest asshat in the world, in which case you continue to ask questions. You get their name. You get you're like, hey, just in case we get disconnected, what's the best way to reach you directly? You ask all the questions. The person asking the questions is the one in charge of the conversation. The worst case scenario you will ever have is to ask a number of questions that end up with them crossing the line, them saying something inappropriate. You have a record, hopefully a recorded record if you're in a position to do that in your state. Then you call literally anyone else and say, hey guys, I know it's not the position of megabank.corp to do this, but I had something really messed up happen. Do you have just 90 seconds to hear what happened? Because I think it might have been illegal, but or egregious or whatever. And then they'll say yes, and now you own them for 90 seconds, and you get them invested in your story, and you say, and then they said this. Is that really what this company does? Is that really it? And of course the answer is no. They're going to escalate it to somebody who's not currently fired up in the minute. Trust me, there's not a single person who you ever speak to on the phone in any of these situations who loves being the guy you're talking on the phone to. And with that in mind, you got to figure out how to get them on your team.
Yep. And yeah, wanting to know when you can unload, if that's in the back of your mind, you're not coming across as sincere as you may feel you are. And I've been there where, I just want to yell at somebody. I just want to argue with somebody. And a lot of people walk through there all day. And if somebody's doing customer service all day, they're getting yelled at all the time. And I think about a lot of restaurants or fast food places I look at, and it's almost like they have battered wife syndrome, where they're so used to people yelling at them that they're not used to somebody being very kind. And it takes them a moment to realize that, oh, no, this person's being nice or complimentary or whatever when I'm doing phone service, and it's like, if they give you the bad news, I've had people give me bad, like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do this. I'm like, okay, I appreciate you doing everything you can. I understand. And they'll be like, well, let me check one more thing, because I didn't yell at them. I wasn't passive aggressive, which is a problem a lot of people have. Is like, I'm friendly as long as I'm getting my way, but the moment I don't, I'm aggressive, and people pick up on that.
I remember one time, and I can't remember the intricacies, and they'd be boring if I did, but I was going on a flight to Hawaii for the Go game, and I wanted to see if I could upgrade my seats. But because of when you could use your upgrades and what time it was, I believe I was on the East Coast at the time. Like I was in this weird window where I was like an hour or 2 hours away from being able to check in and use these upgrades. And so I just kept calling United to like just ask and see. And like I had this whole big complicated thing in my head where I was going to move my flight to an earlier flight. So technically I would already be within the 24-hour window so I could check in to the other flight, and then I could move that flight back afterward. And so I just was calling United and I was like, hey, I got this weird thing. And I'm like halfway through explaining my idea. And this lady's like, wait, what do you want to do? She's like, I'm like, well, ultimately I want to check in for this flight and see if I could use my upgrades, but it's before 24 hours right now, so I can't. She's like, just hold on.
Yes.
It's done.
So remember,
Like, and that was it.
water takes the path of least resistance. All these people do is deal with water and just make sure that of all their options, they could try to dam it up, they could try to hand it off to somewhere else. Make sure that it's their decision to say, I like this guy. It sounds like he really has a tough situation. I know I'm not supposed to grant this favor every single time that the phone rings, but in this situation, the easiest way for me to deal with it is to just bleep, blop, bloop, congratulations, enjoy first class. There.
You know, this was something that really was hard ingrained in me as a reporter, because nobody wants to talk to a reporter, and nobody specifically wants to talk to a college reporter. And that's where I learned how to do it. And where a lot of people wanted to go the opposite route and be very, very, like, you know,
Right.
suit and tie and nice and, you know, shower and not look like some degenerate C student who was, you know, up until 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, smoking pot and listening to the Oh Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack. I kind of went the other way because I would rather them be the 19-year-old that they want to help do a favor than somebody who's trying to act like they're 25 or 30 and they're 10 years in the business.
And weirdly,
So
there's more power in being that guy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
110%. I got more stuff out of more people. I had more of a collegial relationship with them because, you know, part of it, I mean, this is kind of the next level on this, is understanding not only who you are, but how others look at you, and then realizing where the power dynamics are and where you can disarm people so they're less defensive about stuff. But, you know, for me as a reporter, the goal was A, try to become as close to the people that I was talking to on a regular basis as possible. B, for people that I was a stranger to, try to make my interaction with them as painless as possible. And then make sure I write a good story, but not be careless about what we're writing about, right? You know, and that was a lesson that was learned kind of as we went along. But a lot of that can go with any kind of interaction. I had to make those calls because we had to write a story that had to get to bed before 11 o'clock so it could make the next day's paper. Newspapers are a fictional thing that used to happen, kids. Don't worry, just believe me. But if you are in other situations, these dynamics are still here. You're still the poor wretch from the street that powerful customer service person can make better, as opposed to everybody else that's going to call in and say, hey, I'm Busy McGee, and you're a poor-ass jerk butt, and it's your problem that my car's not here.
The magic phrase that I lean on very heavily, and there's some version of it that you could feel honest about and say yourself, is you within 10 seconds say, hello, Justin. I am assuming their name is Justin. I say, Justin, I am 2 hours into this, and I just need a superhero to save the day. Can I just explain what's going on, and then maybe you have a prescription to help me? Like people want to be the hero, and then if those are literally the first words out of your mouth was like, how'd you like to be a superhero? I'm gonna guess most people are gonna say that sounds fun.
I gotta wear a cape, and you have to. I've mentioned before, like it has to be a policy. If you only get your way, you only get the free upgrade or whatever 10% of the time or 20% of the time, you're coming out 10 or 20% ahead. You just have to get used for 80% of the time, them saying no and being cool with it and rolling with it. And sometimes the fact that once you know you're cool with no matter the outcome and you'll be fine and you'll polite or whatever, it actually affects your pregame. It actually affects the way you are before, and people can pick up on that, and that it's not just an act.
And understand also, like, a lot of people on the phone think that once they say no, their conversation gets to be over. But you're the one who decides when the conversation's over. If they say no, I will not get you those flowers by 4 o'clock. No questions asked. It's not possible. You're like, okay, all right. Well, then in that case, I need to write an explanation of what happened. You said your name was Janet, right? Okay. Let's write this letter together to my wife that we're going to do to explain why the flowers aren't there at 4 o'clock. And it's like, she don't get to hang up. She ain't done just because she said she was going to fail at some part of her job. She's still on the job to help you because, again, get to the point where it's easier to grant your wish than it is to deal with you on the phone anymore.
Yeah, Kyle Hume points out, remember the name of the person because it's also helpful in using their name, not just later on, well, so-and-so said this. But I see this a lot where I watch people go up there and like, hey, can you do me a favor in this? And I'm like, this person thinks they're charming. This person thinks they're being likable, but it's an act and it's condescending and that everybody sees through this. Yet that person walks away thinking like, yeah, no, I was really polite and sweet with her and all that. Like, no, you were a condescending, passive-aggressive person who has no idea what sincerity is.
Sure.
And that's
I mean, I'm not saying do it badly. I'm saying do it good.
Oh yeah, we'll be sincere. I mean, it's just like you try to care about that person.
But Kim from Chicago points out that CSR is like they don't have the right to hang up on the customer. That's a no-no. That's a job no-no. They could be super annoying and get the customer to hang up first, but there's an awful lot as a customer you could get done before that point comes. And plus, also, a lot of them, they got turnover expectations. They're supposed to hit so many calls an hour. The longer if they feel like they can solve this in 3 minutes by doing their job rather than argue for 30 minutes, it is in their own best interest to solve it in 3 minutes by doing their job.
Yep.
Gentlemen? Yeah. You know, I'll tell you what, the one thing I would leave on with this is, and this is probably a good, just like what Andrew said, just stuff to understand that will make your life better is to understand, like, what are the human elements of a conversation? Like, when you're having a conversation, what puts you at ease? What's the difference between your conversation with your best friend with a stranger on the street? And think of those signals, right? Not about the history. It's like, well, I've known this person forever, but literally just the cadence, the words, the things that go back and forth between you and the people that you are closest to. And then think about that in contrast to how you talk to a stranger. And I will guarantee you that there is a gap that if you close fractionally will make your life a better place.
You know what? This kind of segues in perfectly to talking about picks. If you haven't read it, and both of these are stuff I mentioned before, but back in the 1980s, Robert Cialdini wrote a book called Influence that was very, very good. I think in some ways his new book, Persuasion, is possibly even better because he talks about the incredible power of getting people to assert that they are a certain type of person before the discussion even begins. If you're on the phone, and this might be a seemingly hostile way to get things started, but even if as a joke you're to say you're like, oh, Janet, been on hold a long time, just got to know, are you the kind of person that can save the day, or are you the kind of person that's going to hand me off to someone else? And then it's a joke moment, and she'll say, well, I'm here to save the day. Great. That little moment has huge impacts. It shapes the way she will decide the rest of the conversation goes, because people love being consistent. They hate saying one thing and then turning out to be less than what they say they are. And Persuasion is filled with all that stuff, everything from how book reviews go forward. It's amazing.
Buying it right now. The book version, the print version.
I did.
By the way, did you see Amazon opening up a bookstore in Manhattan?
Yes.
Interesting.
It's two they've got now. Fast.
Yeah.
Two in the last 4 years. Fast on their way to building a. It'd be interesting. Actually, I'm gonna find out if I can do like a book signing there.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what it's there for, right? To recognize anybody that works with them and say like, hey, look, don't worry, you dusty jacketed old print folks. We'll still do everything in the beautiful glittering new digital future. We'll have bookstores and people will pay a nickel to see these book buyers.
Or Amazon Prime for free. Justin, do you have a pick?
Here's something that I didn't even know existed, and I'm shocked. Prime restaurants. You guys know about Prime restaurants?
What?
No.
0 for 2? Me too. And I'm blown away because I use the hell out of everything. It's basically
The fudge. Have you heard about these Prime restaurants?
Is this like prime rib?
Amazon Prime.
It's food delivery. It's like Instacart.
Free delivery.
Oh,
from
okay.
all these restaurants. And it's a lot of the same place, at least in Oakland, that we normally wind up ordering from anyway. Now you just don't have to pay a delivery fee. And that's better than Postmates. It's better than ordering it right from there or DoorDash or anything like that. No delivery fee. Great. I love it. And you can do it on your Echo.
Wow, I'm looking at this now. I had no idea. $20 order minimum. See, there's the problem when you live alone.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's the thing I run into a lot too. Is I have to buy like 2 meals worth and then save one for later so I can hit the minimum.
How
about then one of you guys can order for 2 and then mail it to the other one, and that way you'll save on a delivery.
With Prime shipping, it'll be free shipping. Yeah.
With Prime shipping, yes.
All right, I'm trying to punch in my code.
You might not have it out here.
Yeah, we do not deliver to
You're
my
in the
zip
boonies.
code. It's not great.
Yeah.
Maybe the warehouse. Hold on. Maybe the warehouse is close enough. Nope.
Yeah. Andrew, did you have a pick?
I have a pick.
Which pick?
My pick is they asked Warren Buffett, when Warren Buffett's asked what was his favorite book, the best book he ever read that helped him for business. You guys know the answer to this?
Richest Man in Babylon.
No.
Redfish, Bluefish.
Spiro and the Fudge's Deep Sea Diving Guide for Dummies.
We know that's what he meant to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
So good. It's so good, and it's even better knowing how timeless it is. You know, the fact that these, and some of it, what's funny is some of the advice ceased to be relevant with the age of Facebook giving you reminders on birthdays or whatever. That's one of the things he says is everyone you ever meet, find out their birthday, put it on your calendar, because there's literally nobody that doesn't love getting a personal phone call on their birthday or whatever. Nowadays, Facebook kind of ruins it because it tells you automatically, oh, it's so.
Although I'll tell you, I think we're getting back to that being valuable.
Correct.
Because now so many people are on Facebook that like I don't tell everybody I know happy birthday, even though Facebook reminds me.
Right. Well, and I if you can avoid using that method. Like if you're reminded by Facebook, pick up the phone, call them, send a text message, say like, hey man, wow, can you believe we've known each other 7 years? You're really great. I hope you have a great birthday. Like that stuff matters. It's good. It's great.
Phone calls are powerful. Phone calls are good. I've had somebody that's like phone calls. Why would you do it in this day and age? It's exactly why you do it in this day and age.
Exactly. If I could, I'd send them telegrams, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I will say my phone primarily 90% of it is taken up talking to the two of you guys and Ashley. Like you guys are the 3 most important people in my life. So like it as a barometer, look at that.
Brian, how do we feel about having Ashley put into that circle there? So.
If I remember the story correctly, we had one kettlebell left, one Turkish kettlebell.
I had this opportunity on the way over. I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I said, we're talking. He's like, I don't go on Facebook anymore. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like to go there anymore because it's the people who are the most emotionally needy are the ones who are posting the most.
I don't I post to Facebook. I don't ever.
I rest my case.
Ever read Facebook. And I tried reading my wife's Facebook because it was open in front. And, you know, each picture appeared to tell a piece of a story. And I found myself 30 minutes later having gotten like I kept going because of that monkey random reinforcement. Like, well, maybe this next one will be good. And then I just threw down her phone and I was like, dead to me.
I remember and I don't want to go into rant. We want to go out of here, but Facebook and these social media things, they have algorithms that are designed to get you sucked in there. They will put posts there that may make you angry, that make you want to comment. They are trying to pull your attention in there. You are in a arms race with billion-dollar AI technology designed to capture your attention, stoke your little dopamine triggers, and to get you engaged.
Yep.
And the easiest way to play, according to war games, the easiest way to win is to not to play.
And they're not above being desperate. I didn't use Facebook much either, and at some point, it noticed I wasn't interacting with anybody, and it didn't have anything to tell me. So once a day, at some point, it would be like, "Hey, someone commented on this photo that you did not look at and did not like and barely know."
Really?
Yeah, it gets really desperate.
See, for me, the way it gets desperate is passive aggressive. As if we're having a conversation. It's like, hey, do you know Joe Blogs? Just asking. Yeah. Joe Blogs. Is that a guy you know? No? Okay.
Yep. I'm
You know Jim Turtley-Doo? Jim Turtley-Doo? He's a guy. You don't know him? Okay, all right.
And I know Ken. Ken Turtley-Doo is a good. He went to college with me.
Really? Hold on, let me write that down. Ken Turtley-Doo.
People are like, "Oh, hey, I sent you a Facebook Messenger thing," and it's like, "Yeah, if you like me, you won't do that." And it's hard because some people it's just natural for them, and it's like, "No, I'm not anti-tech. I'm anti this thing that's a time sink designed to suck up all my time."
I'll tell you what, man. There is. I know it is a measurably less effective social media platform, but God, do I love the ephemeral nature of Twitter. It's just a giant just a giant chat room. Just
Twitter's
chit-chatting,
beautiful.
chit-chat.
Twitter's beautiful for the reasons that Facebook is evil.
Yes. Yep.
You know, and the reason Facebook has this $400 billion valuation and Twitter's got, if that 10% of that. But part of the reason is because, Twitter's, I hop in, I have a chat, I do a Periscope, it's great. I turn it off, I go away.
Kip from Chicago points out that Twitter will email you if it hasn't heard from you for a while, like suggesting things to you.
Twitter will create new categories of emails and automatically add you to them, because I will get emails occasionally from old inactive accounts that's like, hey, here are the new celebrity tweets for this thing you did 4 years ago.
Okay, so what I got really into making fake Twitter accounts, and then I would always use, you could always add like plus extra characters on your Gmail, but they all end up going to Gmail. And so like one of them is I think Josh Connolly was complaining how he looked fat or something, whatever. So I made an account called Fat Josh, and so
every couple of months you get, "Hey, Fat Josh, do you
yes,
want to see
exactly.
what
I made another one like somebody was complaining about dubstep, and I was like, well, when I invented dubstep, it's like William H. Dubstep, you've been missing out on these.
I did that when Chris Kenner lost his wallet. I created Kenner's wallet, and it was like just photos from all over Vegas of what the money was being spent on and what I was doing, and now I get Kenner's wallet.
That's amazing. You're like, did you follow Kanye? You won't believe what he said.
Gentlemen, it's been after.
You're goddamn right it has.
Ha-cha-cha, mister.
All right, guys.
Dude, that was fun. I'm sorry that we had to do a hard out this evening.
You got a hard out to get to.
Yeah, I gotta go hang with the most successful Kickstarter ever.
Ooh.
Which one's that?
Do you know? I'll give you a
Is
hint.
it-
Certainly the most successful Kickstarter video game of all time.
Broken Age.
What's
No,
that?
Not Broken Age. Shenmue? No, that's no.
I'll give you a hint. The record was set by Richard Garriott's Shroud of the Avatar and then broken by his friend. Chris Roberts, Star Citizen.
Stars. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Hey.
I want to watch Brian do the walkie-talkie and a hot take at the same time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. No, I mean, video games are old hat now when it comes to the most funded Kickstarters. Now it's all gadgets and board games.
And coolers and little dice that click buttons.
Dice click buttons.
The stress cubes. Look it up.
Yeah.
That's actually a really sad story because they made this really cool thing for
No,
people. who
a
have
real
fidget.
sad story is that Prime Now doesn't deliver to my zip code.
But-
That's a mildly interesting story.
They've taken so long to make this fidget cube in China that China's already knocked it off with lower quality parts.
Oh, this is the one where like there's buttons to click and flip and
Yeah.
switch and yeah, got it.
It's a real sad thing. All right, guys, we're gonna log off.
Also,
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.